The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're mine. They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. That's what it sounded like. Good, you know who I am. And you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? I'm just watching us right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
Good evening, Misfit Sugarleys, Monster Livers, and Demon Hunters. How's your fucking night going?
Today's episode is going to be answering one of the most asked questions by listeners. And that question is, how do me and old boy do a show together? Because I am a Christian pastor and he is a borderline Satanist. How do we make that work? Why aren't we constantly fighting with each other? How do we have two teams, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast? How does all of that work? Okay, so I'm going to throw it to old boy and let him go first. And he'll explain his side of things and what he thinks about it. And then I'll be back to give my perspective. So, old boy. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, there's been a lot of questions on this. A lot of people have asked me over the years, and finally you're going to see why. And why do you and James even do a show together knowing your beliefs are different? How do you guys have a West Coast, East Coast team that have so many different beliefs actually coexist? That's the other one. That's number 2. So I'll talk about that in a minute. This is a question that people keep asking, so I decided to do a show about it, and I will tell you why. So, get ready for a whole action-packed hour, guys, because we're going to say a lot, so you're going to hear a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be a pretty interesting show for you guys. You guys finally get to see, and not how we are, and Friday night, I'm going to be doing a show. I forget what the guy's, he's got a radio show in Louisiana, but I'll be doing that at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 Eastern. I'll let you guys know more about it, but I'll be their guest. So I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff like I talk about now. That being said, you guys know James is a preacher, Christian preacher, and he lives by God, and he's into that religion, Christian religion. My mom is a Christian reverend. My grandmother was in the Sunday school. My grandfather worked at the Sunday school. So don't say I don't know nothing about God, because I do. On religion part, people are going to say, well, I'm not saying like I'm talking about religious parts. I do. I was growing up as a Christian. I decided to go my own route, my own path. And that's the way I am. Me and my wife are very paganish / I'm more, I have a lot of satanic beliefs. You guys, I'm not going to lie. You could see in the back. I don't follow everything. Just like I just kind of go my own route, and I always have. I know that certain religions like mine are taboo, but they're not. By the last 3 years, it's illegal religion, Satanism. I've always been what I want, though. I don't follow any church. I don't pay anybody to be in any religion. I don't believe that. I have my beliefs, and just like James does. But it's never been an issue. Yeah, we've had our conversations, and we've had our discussions, and a few heated, but over 7-8 years, we're going to have that. 8 years. I've known him for 10, actually, before that. He was in, but I've known James for a decade now, and basically just we're two different. We got the same name, we got the same attitude. We don't fucking care what people think. We never really have. We're who we are. It just works. It's very weird because you wouldn't think that. James has got a very, very different opinion than I do, but we have the same opinions on other things. Very much honor is a very agreeable thing, and I agree with honor. And I think James does too, and he's a very honorable person. Whatever his opinions are and what my opinions are on that, when it comes to family, you don't mess with our families. That's just a whole different thing. That's an honor system that we have. And he's just like a brother. And he's a brother I wish I would have had that in real life. Like a real biological, but he doesn't have to be blood. He's a brother. He's like a big brother. And he's helped me a lot grow up and mature a lot. He's been in my life for that, and I could give him that. Not just because, you guys got to realize I work with a international selling horror author that sold books to Stephen King. And all I was a guy who did horror groups on Facebook and a couple videos, TikTok, and he liked how I was. And we started doing a show years ago called Revolution Radio with other people that we were really good friends with, our friend Eric. And some stuff happened personally, and we had to do the show, me and James, and we took it over and did Staring. And this is what you have now, Staring into the Abyss / Tells of the Abyss. I have 2 books out myself. James has got 5 or 6 books, I think. He just got a new one. It just came out a couple months ago, and I know he's working on more. But you have to realize his books were really awesome. Like, if you guys can take a chance, he'll tell you the Legion series. He'll tell you where you can get them everywhere. Big people know who we are. Like, through the big names know who we are. And that's very special because one of them knew who I was and my wife he hadn't seen us for a year and he remembered us. So I'm very humble. I'm in an international well-known paranormal show, podcast, and international known investigator / very controversial, we've been told. But people like it. There's nothing like me and James. I could tell you that right now. We are a version of the Winchester brothers, like probably reincarnated, kind of like that. But I'm not saying them; they were great. But you're not going to get something like me and James ever again, probably for a long time. I'm not saying we're better than anybody. I believe, and I'm going to tell you this: we're one of the best teams in the world. Podcast in the world too. And I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. I could vouch for that. We do good together. That's why we get along so well. We have the same thoughts and same mind. We just don't believe in the same thing. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change any feelings I have. And we have groups. We have people who are witches, pagans, Christians, Catholics, Jews. We've had people in the group. We don't have any issues, guys. If it does, the issue gets solved. And if they can't work out, they leave. But people who don't believe in anything. It doesn't bother me on that. I don't care. Personally, I don't give a fuck about what people believe or do at their house or at their own life. I don't care about that stuff. I never have. And I just don't care. Some people do because they believe a certain way or that's just how they were taught. And I get it. If you're raised a certain way. I decided to be the way I wanted to be. And this is the life I wanted to live, and I've lived a great life, guys. Nothing's been easy. Honestly, I'm just being honest. Nothing has been easy. It's been a hard life altogether. But I am who I'm going to be now. Just like James is going to be who he's going to be. And the way I look at it is, I was supposed to be this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And crazy as it sounds, that's just how it goes, Probably could have picked a better profession. But, I guess it goes with my personality. But not once have I hated being with a Christian or working with Catholic. That stuff doesn't bother me. And if it bothers you, it shows. If your belief keeps you from doing stuff with people just because they believe in something different, it's time for another belief. That's just my opinion. James believes a certain way, but he still does stuff with us. He still does with people he wouldn't associate in real life. And he still does. He's, and there's people who've said stuff and judged him over that. And judged me over that. Why? How could you do? Oh, you sound like a Alex Jones, one guy flip. I'm like, dude, have you actually listened to what he says? Not even close. I've defended James with Satanists and people who didn't believe, atheists, and argue with him. And you know what? The way I look at it is he's allowed to have his beliefs just like I am. We've had arguments about what is in the Bible and other beliefs, and that's fine. But to this day, I'd probably take a bullet for him. He's a great guy. I love the guy, man. I mean, he's he's helped me with my life. I've grown up a lot being in James's life, and I think I've helped him a lot too, that he could deal with somebody like me. It's not very easy, trust me. I'm very set in my ways, and I'm just that way. I've always been. My mom knows it. My family knows it. My wife knows it. Most people don't understand or realize how crazy my life is. Me and my wife are married. Yes, we date, but that's a whole different thing. That's not the reason I'm bringing it up. People know it. I'm not going to lie about how we are. We date women, and that's it. And there's no point of hiding it no more. I don't care what anybody thinks. That's our life. I don't say it's for anybody, and if you're a jealous person, you don't want to live this life. But that's my life. And I can live this life. Doesn't mean everyone else should. Like I said, if you're a very jealous person, you should never live a life like me. And it's not for everyone. I like to have a good time, guys. I like having a good time in my life. And I'm enjoying my life. I enjoyed doing the show for you guys with James. But I'm a different kind of person. I'm not going to hide who I am anymore. Now we have more freedom on the shows and say what we want. I am who I am. And you guys should know who Old Boy really is. Some hate me. Some want to see me destroyed because of the way I believe. Some love me. Loved by many, never trust few, like somebody wise man told me one time. It's hard to love people. I have a difference of opinion on that. I don't feel bad for people. I'm not saying all people. I'm saying people who do bad things or continuously do the same stupid shit over and over. I just don't care. James kind of the same way. He forgives people. He has to because that's his belief, but I don't mess with people, and I'm not going out at night sacrificing cats and dogs. I don't do that. That's all bullshit, Hollywood, and people who do that, that's not me. I hate people who hurt kids or women. I'm not about that. Never have been. And people who do that, I don't give a fuck. You should be going to jail or shot. But I mean, they should be in jail, and other things should happen. But I'm not going to get into that. That's probably just how I feel. Us doing the show, it wouldn't work if it wasn't the way we are. It just wouldn't work. We've always liked crypto and ghosts and stuff like that, and zombies, all this stuff. We love all this shit. Survival and history. It wouldn't work. If anybody else tried it, I remember he told me that, and I was right. I'm different than anything he's different than anything I've ever dealt with, and you have to be a certain person to do that. You can't just do a show with me and James. It's not going to be very easy because we have very high opinions on certain things, and we're very set in our ways, and it's just, You got to be a certain person. But that being said, it works really fine. We do good. I mean, especially in paranormal, he'd be on the phone and I already know what he's going to tell me. And I don't have to really, I know when he's done talking. I've just been working with him for so long. You just know things. I wouldn't want another partner like that. I don't want to, what's the point? I'm doing something now that I want to do forever. Again, it could be 5,000 people and one person listening, and I'll still do this show. I love doing it. I know he does. It gives us something to do that we love. And I love this stuff. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I've always will be. So, you know, I just have my opinions on religion like he does. And that's where we very much differ on a lot of things. But I still love the guy. I don't hate him. I have a lot of honor. I have honor for people who I can coexist with anybody. If they show me respect, just like I would show you respect on anything you believe or whatever you think or how you think, that's your business. I'm not going to say, nope, I can't do that. Nope, that's not, my religion said I can't talk to you, so bye, fuck yourself. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. I'm different. I don't see that way because I know how it feels to be abandoned and people not to like you and not care about you. In the late 2000, around the 2000s beginning, I was kind of like this, dyed my hair. People called me homophobic names, and I wasn't even gay. That's what's so ridiculous how people are. But my hair was blue and green and red, and I was gothic, and I was into that life. And I had people, oh, you're a fag. I don't even want to say that. That's the stuff that was said to me. And that's why I understand how it is to be persecuted because stuff, oh, I was gay or I was a homo. That's what stuff would be said to me because I had red hair, I had green hair. And I'm not saying that because I'm very against any kind of homophobic. I'm very much with the LGBTQ. My wife is bi. We have family members who are gay and are lesbian, and we don't care. I'm just saying what was said to me. That's what I was called. Over my hair being dyed. And I was happily, at the time, I was not happily, but I was married. And that's the kind of shit that was being said to me. So I just laugh about it. Most of those people wouldn't stop. Yeah, let's see what you do if you try to stop. Because trust me, I'll tell you right now, I can fight. I don't brag about it, but I can. I don't fuck with people, but if you mess with me, it's a bad decision. James the same way. James is a black belt and all kinds of different shit. And he's 6'5.5", 300 pounds almost. Now he's like 260, 70 because he's lost some weight, or 280 or something like that. And I used to be 300, 290 somewhere, and I'm 6 foot, 6'1.5", but I lost a half inch because of my back. But I'm around 6 foot tall, and I'm a pretty big dude. I have big fucking hands, so does James, and I can get down. I don't like to anymore. I'm a little too old for that, but I can't. It's just how I am. That's how James is. You don't, it's not a good day to mess with us. And I don't pick on people. I don't bully people. Oh, I could kick I don't do that kind of shit, man. But that's what I was saying. That's the kind of stuff that was said to me. Living in California, I had to be a certain way, bro, because I was, people, fans that I was that way. And I had to be this way because that's the shit that was said to me all the time. And the homophobic shit really gets on my nerves. Trust me, because I have friends and family that are like that, and I could give a fuck what they do in their life. You have a problem with it, keep it to yourself. I don't care. Whatever you believe in, that's fine. You know what? You have your opinions just like people have opinions on you. And you know what? You could say what you want, but most of those people are good people. It's just that people are, social media and whatever, all this bullshit that's going on, it's sad because people want to live the way they want to live, and that's it. They don't care what anybody thinks. They want to be safe. And when you're not safe, like I said to somebody, how would you like doesn't matter what you believe, but you can't be the person you want to be because you're too worried that people are going to think something of you. That wouldn't be a life I would want to live. Not at all. And that's another thing. James accepts our life. He doesn't agree with it maybe, but he accepts that we're the way we are, just like I accept how he is. I have my opinions on it, but I could care less. I don't change any feelings I have. I just don't. And James is very, a lot of people think because he's a Christian, he hates people. He doesn't. He has opinions on stuff, but he doesn't, there's not a point of attacking people. He's very much against that. That's what people don't understand. He might have an opinion on it, but he doesn't want people getting killed or murdered. He's against that too, just like I am. That's stupid. But the gay and anything I said was not against anybody. It's because that stuff that was said to me, and I might have said a word that it had nothing to do with. That's what I was called. The F word and the G word, and it was ridiculous. This is how people think. They automatically assume you're that way, and you're not. I'm not. Trust me. I don't care if you are, but I'm not. But people assume that, and you know how people are. They don't know the truth, or they just think that because you look different. I've seen that happen so many times, especially in California. There's people who dress up like in drag, and they're straight. And trust me, as crazy as that sounds, look at, okay, trans-wise, gender, whatever, what's his name? The Kardashian's dad. Now he's now a legal female, but he's with a woman. She is now with a woman. So she just changed who she was, but she's kept the same preference. So I wanted to backtrack. Don't want to say he, it was she. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. I could care less. And I don't know why we're talking about that, but I'm just showing examples of stuff that's happened to me. And a lot of people do assumptions. That's all I was saying. And we'll get off of that whole subject. But I do not care what you believe in. I do not care who you believe in or what you do, is what I'm trying to say. And I love you guys as much as I can. Possible. I may not agree with everybody's beliefs, but I don't care. Hey, whatever you guys want to do, whatever you want to believe in, that's on you. At least be happy. That's all I'm saying. Live a happy life. Be successful in your life. Sorry, it's hard for me to say certain words. And that's all that matters. Take care of your family, your friends. Take care of people who you love. Parents. Do what you can to make yourself happy. But now, how does it work with the, being in other states? Well, we have two teams. We have Vapor and we have Shadows Pit. Shadows Pit's here in California, I run, and Vapor's out there with Andy and James. And they're in Pennsylvania and Virginia area. It's very easy. We have a group. We talk about in the group. We tell each other what we need to do, and it works. And a lot of people like that idea. One in California, one in Pennsylvania and / Virginia, and it's worked for years. And people like the idea. It's something different. A lot of people don't do. A lot of people ask, well, how do you guys get away? How's that work? Well, it just does. We do everything on phones. There is technology, Facebook and all that, YouTube and TikTok. We use all that for stuff we need to do. Facebook Lives, all kinds of stuff. Twitter, TikTok Lives, we do those. We'll put investigation footage on all of them, YouTube, everything. And it just works. And James edits everything, and he's the one that's in charge of everything on that part. Andy works at down there at right next to God. I can't think about it. I'm lost right now, guys. I'm sorry. Gettysburg. He works at that ghost tours right next to Gettysburg. So I mean, he's there all the time. Sorry, I lost it. I was tired. Had a long week this week, guys. And that's it. That's one of the things that we do is with this, and I'm sorry, I just lost train of thought, is that we keep each other in check on stuff we're doing. We tell everything we're doing, we know everything we're doing, and we discuss everything we're doing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute. It happens. Like I said, I'm tired, guys. And that's how it's been working. And we don't argue with each other. If we question something, we'll question it. We'll have a talk about it, and that's it. We'll discuss everything. There's probably like, with all the groups together, there's probably like 10, 12 people involved. When it's separate, it's like 5 or 6 each, 7 at the most. But we all keep in touch, and it works well. We all know what we're doing. We have a lot of experience. Me, over 10 years. Andy, over 30. JC's got like 15, 17 years experience or more. My wife's got about 6 or 7. We got a new camera guy. He's never really done it, but he's going to start learning. Amanda's been doing it for a couple years. The guy Mike's been doing it for 30, 40 years. We have a lot of people who know what they're doing, and it's not a lot of arguing and stuff like that, guys. So that's how that works. So people wanted to know how that worked out. That's how we do things, and we've been doing it for years, and it's worked for us. So, and me and James doing a show is something I would never trade, and it works for us. We know how to talk to each other. Like I said, we know how to feed off of each other. And I'll tell you this, like a lot of people, when we do shows together, we don't do it for purpose, but sometimes we'll just take over the show because we're so used to talking to each other. We can do it. And it's just, it's not for purpose, but it happens sometimes. We take over things, and kind of happens that way. It just always has. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to talk about this stuff, and I hope you guys really got to understand a little bit more about us. Don't have that much time. We only get about a half hour each, so that's why I can only do so much. So that's why I'm saying, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. So any questions, leave it again. Say whatever you got to ask. Ask us whatever you want, and I'll answer, or he'll answer. But that being said, there you go, brother. Hope you guys have a good night.
Thank you, brother. Jesus walked around and gave speeches. He talked to many, many people. One time when he was walking with his disciples, some people ran up to him, like they often did. And they asked him, Teacher, how do we get to heaven? Jesus looked at them and said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and love the Lord thy God with all your heart. Do these 2 things. The rest will take care of itself. Okay? That's kind of my philosophy on life. People ask that question that we're doing the show on today. Why do we do a show together? How are we able to coexist? How come we're not at each other's throats? Because for some reason, everybody wants us to be fighting and trying to hurt each other. And I don't understand that. Just because he believes differently than I do. I will talk tonight to the pagans. I will talk tonight to the Christians. I'll talk to everybody. Okay? The whole point of Christianity is love. That's what we're called to do. That is our job. Let me fix my thing here. That's our job. We are supposed to be loving each other. Okay, we're not called to judge. That's God's job. We're not called to hate. That's the enemy's job. We're called to love and support each other. So old boy doesn't believe what I believe. Does that mean that I should completely cut him out of my life? Does that mean that I should shun him? As if he is a piece of human garbage that's not worthy of love or acceptance? No. My job is to love him. And as old boy has said many, many times, and as he has said on this show, we have had our conversations about the Almighty God. And he's swung one way and the other way. He's come closer to my side and he's gone away from me. And that's okay. That's his freedom, his free will. He has the ability to make that choice for himself. So I would say to all the Christians out there listening to me right now, yes, we are called to preach the gospel. We are called to try to get our brothers and sisters to accept Jesus Christ so that they too can be saved. We do that out of love. But the way to do that, the way to try to save somebody and try to help them, is not to shun them. It is not to treat them as if somehow they are less than. They're no different than you. The only difference between you and an unsaved person, the only difference between me and old boy, is that I'm forgiven and he isn't. That's it. Now there's surface differences. We have different IQs, we have different backgrounds, we have different interests, although we have a lot of the same interests as well. There are surface differences, but on a fundamental level, we're both just human beings. We are both just sinners who are trying to make our way through this crazy-ass world, full of hate and judgment and hardship. So I would say to all of you, whether you're Christian, pagan, or whatever, chill out, man. Just love each other. Why can't you just do that? Why do you have to constantly look for struggle and strife and battle? It's not necessary. I am not your enemy. And I'm speaking directly to all of you pagans out there, either watching this on the YouTube channel or listening on the radio. I am not your enemy. I'm your brother. You may not agree with me. You may think I'm out of my ever-loving mind. But that's okay. I still love you. And I mean you no harm. If anything, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you information. I'm trying to save you from hell. And you could say, I don't believe in hell. Okay. That's your choice. Doesn't mean I love you any less. Doesn't mean that you're any less of a person than I am. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve love and respect. See, the funny thing is, a lot of these people that are pagans, and a lot of these people that are Christians, are not really all that different. The pagans are always saying, well, the Christians, they persecute us. They always trying to make us believe what they believe. They always treat us like garbage. And then on this side, you have the Christians who say, damn pagans are always persecuting us. They're always making us feel like garbage because we believe in God and trying to harm us. Why can't we just love each other? There's not much difference between us. Not much at all. Yes, old boy chooses to believe something other than I believe. But let me tell you a little bit about old boy. Old boy is a hard-working dude. Old boy is loyal as hell. Old boy is the first person, if you're in trouble or you're hurting, he'll do anything in his power to help you. I have witnessed that man give large amounts of money to help people who were in need, who were doing GoFundMes or something like that. I've seen it myself. Now, old boy is not a broke person. He's not a poor person, but he's not a rich person either. So a couple $100 to some people might be a hell of a lot of money. To other people, it might not be anything. But you do feel it. If you're not rich, you feel it. And I've watched him do it. So just because he's not saved, just because he's not a Christian, doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Where he goes after he dies, that's a question for God. That's up to his own decision making. He can choose or not choose. That's up to him, and that's up to every person that's listening and watching. But there's no reason for any of us to be hateful towards each other. And there's just too damn much of that going on. Too much. I see it all the time. I see Christian people that won't even talk to pagans. Why? They quote the Bible, don't cast your pearls in front of swines, and all kinds of stuff like that. We are called to share the good news, to share the gospel. How the hell are you going to share the gospel to somebody if you won't even talk to them? You want to know the most effective way to share the gospel? You go and you be their friend. You talk to them. You treat them like a human being. You treat them with respect. And over the course of your friendship, yes, you do share the gospel with them. I have many, many times with Old Boy. But also, and almost as importantly, you show them through your own life and through your own actions the love of Christ. If you're out there and you share the gospel with somebody and you're talking down to them and you're treating them like garbage, how are you showing the love of Christ? If Jesus was talking to him, do you think that he would treat him like garbage? Or do you think that he would approach them with love? I mean, yes, you're going to try to tell them the truth. And I'm not saying condone bad behavior. But you got to come at it with love. You got to treat people with respect. And if you do that, it's very easy to get along. Do you know that me and Old Boy have known each other about a decade? We've been doing this show for over 7 years. So we've been working together for over 7 years. I cannot remember a single time, not once, that we've ever had an actual argument. Now, we've had conversations, we've had debates about things, we've went back and forth every once in a while about different things. But as far as raising voices, being mad at each other, having an actual fight or an argument, I can't remember one time. He speaks to me with respect. I speak to him with respect and love. It's not difficult to get along. I'm always baffled by this question, and I've heard it many, many times, just like Old Boy has. There's a lot of people that have asked us this. And there's a lot of people that have tried to influence us one way or the other. Okay, I've had people, Christians, come up to me and say, what are you doing? Why are you doing a show with a devil worshiper? You're a Christian. You're not supposed to be doing that. They've given me grief about it. And I guarantee you Old Boy's heard it about me as well from his friends. But here's the thing. Why? What part of the Bible tells you to be hurtful to each other, to hurt each other, and to always fight and argue? The core of Christ's message is love and respect. And if you can treat people with love and respect, you're not going to have all the issues that everybody else has. Over 7 years, not one argument. Over a decade, we've known each other, not an argument. How many people can say that? What's great about me and Old Boy together on this show is you get two different perspectives on things. You get the perspective of a devout Christian and pastor. And you get the perspective of the polar opposite of that. That's very awesome, man. That's valuable. Because if you can see it from two different points of view, that helps you to make up your own mind. And that's the whole point of this show, is to give you information and then you decide for yourself what you think. I don't see what the problem is with that. There's a lot of people, and we've heard it from like TV people and producers and stuff that, hey man, we'd love to put you guys on a show, but do you think that you could amp it up a little bit? Do you think that you guys could kind of go head to head and argue and fight? You know, because you got a Christian and you got like a Satanist type person, a pagan. Why don't y'all fight each other? You know, that would be great TV if you go head to head and scream and holler at each other and stuff. But that's not the truth. That's not what we are. We don't fight. We don't argue. We discuss things like rational human beings. And we treat each other with respect and love, and we actually are friends. He messages me, I message him about stuff that's not even about the show. We just talk. Hey, how you doing? You know, how's your wife doing? How's your family going? You know, what are you doing this weekend? Hey, man, I just found this cool game. You want to play? You know, I downloaded it. You can download it on Xbox. We can get online sometime and play together. Those kind of things. I mean, you know, we talk about wrestling. We do all that kind of stuff. We're just friends. There's no reason why there has to be fighting and arguing. You know, and same thing with Tales from the Abyss, the paranormal teams where we are actively working cases with demonic activity and helping people and helping families. That's seamless as well. You know, we do our thing on this side, they do their thing on that side. If they need my help, if they run across something they can't handle or they can't get rid of, they call me. And I'll get right on the phone, or I'll get right on like a live video, like a messenger video or something, and I will help. You know, I'm available to them. Andy is available to them to where they can draw on our years and years of experience. Andy's got over 30 years of experience. I've got close to the same. You know, combined, we've got over 50 years, almost 60 years of experience. That's crazy, you know, and we are there. If they need us, all they have to do is call. Same thing on this side. When I run into something on this side that I'm not familiar with and I need help with, I have reached out to Old Boy before. And I have messaged him and said, hey, this is what we're dealing with over here. Do you know anything about this? I've never heard of this. Do you know anything? And he'll give me his knowledge on something. So that's how we do it. We work with each other. We have separate teams that work cases, but we are always available for each other if we need it, for either knowledge or wisdom or literally to help. I've gotten on and cast out demons over the phone with them, where they've run into things that were just too powerful they couldn't handle. And I've gotten on a phone call with them and cast it out over the phone. We are always available for each other because we're brothers, you know? And in every sense of the word. And this is so, so important. And I really hope and pray that everybody within the sound of my voice, or that can see me on your screen right now, I hope that you understand this. We are all brothers and sisters. Every one of us. We are all children of God. Whether you are a Christian or you believe in God, we're all brothers and sisters. Or if you are an atheist and don't believe God exists at all, science has proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, through study of the human genome and DNA sequencing, that every body alive today came from a single pair of people. Around the time of the story of Noah's Ark, actually, around that time period, when the world was flooded, that it was a single couple or a small group is what they narrowed it down to. That means that any way you cut it, whether you are religious or whether you're an atheist, we are all brothers and sisters. We're all related. We're all family. We're all blood. So why are we treating each other horribly all the time? How come everywhere you go, you got to deal with the same kind of knuckleheads all the time, trying to start trouble and start drama? The paranormal field is rife with it. We've done how many shows now on this? About these idiots in the paranormal field who just constantly running their mouth about people fighting and arguing and all the stupidity. Why? What is the point? Pagans need to realize that most Christians are just trying to help them. They're just trying to show them love. And y'all need to chill out. Stop being so damn combative all the time. Christians, you need to realize that all these pagans out here, they're your brothers and sisters, just like I am. They are not less than. They are good people, a lot of them. There are people that are dealing with a lot of the same things in life that you're dealing with. And they're just trying to do the best they can to get through a crazy, crazy world that just constantly kicks you in the nuts every time you turn around. You got to realize that the way to talk to these people is the way you talk to anybody else. They're just people, just like you. They deserve love. They deserve respect. And I promise you, if you come at these people with love and respect, it ain't going to matter that you're a Christian, and it ain't going to matter that they're a pagan. You're just people. All people want the same thing. They want to be happy. They want to be safe. They want their children to have a better life than they had. They want their children to be safe and happy. It's not complicated. We have gotten to a point in our civilization that the majority of us are so well off that we argue and fight over stupid stuff that means nothing. For most of human existence, it has been a struggle just to feed ourselves, just to find enough calories to survive. But we are in a position now on our planet where even the poorest people have plenty to eat, at least in America. Even the poorest people have cell phones and TVs, most of them, unless you're like a drug addict and you're homeless or something. But the majority of people have the basic necessities. They are okay. It's not a struggle anymore to try to find calories. It's not a struggle anymore to try to go from here to there without some damn lion or something eating you. You know, we've got this whole life thing figured out. Yes, there's dangers. Yes, there's idiots that want to fight and kill everybody. Yes, there's all that stuff. Okay, I'm not saying it's a utopia. But compared to the way it was several hundred years ago or several thousand years ago, it ain't so bad. So because your number one priority when you wake up in the morning is not, I have got to get out there and try to find food so that my family can survive, or I've got to try to make sure that we don't get eaten by something today, because that's not your priority anymore. You make up all this crap to fight and argue about, and it's stupid, and there's no reason for it. So my message for the day would be simply, cut it out. Love each other. What are you doing? Why do you got to fight all the time? We're all the same. I've been all over the world. I grew up everywhere, dude. I grew up over in Europe. I've been all over the place. Everybody's the same. Yes, there's different ideas of nationalism, different ideas of I love my country, or these people are bad, or these people are bad, right? But at the core, we're all the same. We all want the same things. Imagine what we could accomplish if we could all just chill the hell out and get along and love each other. Imagine the great things that we could do if we didn't waste so much energy hating each other and fighting all the time. Because none of it matters. We're all going to die. And when you die, no matter what you got here, you can't take it with you. I don't care how much money you build up on this planet, it stays here when you go. The only thing that matters is love. The only thing that matters is whether or not you're saved. Where are you going? When you leave here, where are you going? That's a choice you got to make. And that's a choice that every single person listening to me has either already made or needs to make. Because once you're dead, it's too late. It's too late. So as I've told old boy many, many times in our conversations, that's all that matters. Do you want to go to a place that's nice? Do you want to be in paradise? No pain, no suffering, no sickness, no sorrow. Or do you want to burn for all eternity? Constant anguish, suffering, pain. Yelling out just for a drop of water to ease your burning tongues. That's your choice. Now, what kind of monster would I be if I didn't try to talk to you and tell you that I loved you and try to get you to understand that that's your options? What kind of monster would I be if 100% knowing and believing that is true, I turned my back on you just because you didn't believe what I believed? Consider that. I'm talking right now to the Christians. Consider that. If you knew that a group of people were in a building that was getting ready to burn down because you saw a fire in the basement and they're up top, and you know that soon that fire is going to get to the point where they're not going to be able to get out and they're going to burn alive. If you knew that was true and you didn't do everything in your power to try to help them, you'd be a monster. Now, what if those people didn't believe the same thing you believe? What if they didn't believe there was a fire in the basement? What if they didn't believe they were in any danger of burning alive? Would you just turn your back on them and say, oh, well, they don't believe that there's a fire in the basement, so screw them. They deserve it. Hey, I tried. I said, hey, guys, watch out for that fire. And they went, bloop, 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 bloop. Gave me the old stone cold salute. So I just said, what am I going to do? I don't want people not to like me. I don't want people to hate me. That hurts. That hurts me. So you know what? I tried. I just let them burn. Nah. You can hate me. That's okay. But I love you enough to tell you there's a fire in the basement. It's coming. Y'all better make that choice. Get the hell out of that building before it reaches you. Just trying to say, I love you. I'm going to throw back over to old boy. Let him give his final shout outs, sum ups, and all that. Then I'll be back to wrap up. Oh boy. Go ahead, brother.
I hope you guys like this episode on Parax Radio every Sunday nights at 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific time, p.m. The Best Of Show, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you guys check us out. We're almost everywhere, except Apple. We ain't there yet. Gonna try sooner and later. I want to get it on Roku. That's the next thing. It's coming. Down the line. A lot of things are coming, guys. Like I said, we're really been noticed by some really big names. I'm not going to put them out there, but just put that in mind. We are one of the most controversial, crazy groups there is, and they know it. And we're willing to do anything. Any investigation. But you want merchandise, James will tell you where to go. Go to James's YouTube page and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Tell us what you want. What new shows you want us to do. What you guys want us to talk about. We'll do it. That being said, good night, Misfits, Sugar Ladies, Monster Lovers, and Demon Hunters. I love you and blessed be, and have a good night, motherfuckers.
Thank you, brother. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. I hope that for all the people, and there's been a lot, that have asked that question. I hope you got your answer. I hope that that satisfies your curiosity. If there's anything else y'all want to know, feel free, ask down in the comment section when this hits YouTube. Every episode goes on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. So you can check it out there. People ask, also another question people have asked is why we don't have a separate YouTube channel, why we use that one. The answer to that is easy. That was my YouTube channel in the beginning. When I first wrote my books, I started a YouTube channel simply to give updates about the books when they came out and to answer questions from readers and stuff like that. And when we first started this, that was already set up. And I'm the one that edits all the footage. I'm the one that puts every show together, whether it's Staring or Tales or anything. I'm the editor. I do all the work as far as that goes. They film, send the stuff to me, I edit and put it up. Okay. So because I'm the one doing all of that, only thing everybody else does is just film. They send everything to me. I do all of the editing. I do all of the producing of the work. I film a lot of stuff myself and edit it in. I will do the audio mastering. I do everything. Okay. So because I do all of that, it is easier to have the YouTube channel that I can just upload it to. If we made a separate one, that would be more of a pain in the butt. So that's the answer. It's that simple. As far as monetization and all that, and I think that's why people ask, is because they're like, well, how do you do that? There's really nothing to do. I mean, we don't make really any money from the YouTube channel. You know, the merch store, the money we make from the merch store, there's really not a whole lot of that either, to be honest with you, because I keep the prices just over our cost, as close to our cost as I can get it. So there's not really a whole lot of profit that comes out of that. But whatever there is, we split up. So that's not an issue. But we don't really make anything from the YouTube channel, you know. So it's not an issue of what do you do with the money you're making from the YouTube channel. There is really no money from the YouTube channel. What we do, like with the cases we work and all that kind of stuff, we don't make money for that. You know, we do that for free. We do that because it's God's work and it's the right thing to do. But the decision was made because I have a lot more subscribers on my YouTube channel than he has on his, that we should just put it here. You know, so there's no sneakiness, no animosity. Everything's above board. Everybody knows what's going on. It's just another case of people trying to stir up drama where there is no drama. You know, I'm an open book. I'm an open book for old boy. He knows pretty much everything about me. You know, I don't hide anything. I'm not somebody that's out here lying to you and trying to hide things. I tell you the truth. I've said that on this show a million times. I'm going to tell you the truth no matter what. You know, and I'm the same way with everybody in my life. I'm not a duplicitous person. But anyway, I'm getting way in the weeds, stuff you guys probably don't give a damn about. Hope you enjoyed the show. I love you. I appreciate you. Leave your comments down here on the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, leave them down here. Okay? Love you guys. Till I speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.